Guys who are able for the Morris American prayer. Allah the Father of the universe.
Allah the Father of the universe.
Father love.
Father love.
Truth. Peace.
Peace.
Freedom. And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My God.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the Morris honors. First shall rise giving praise to Allah.
First I rise giving praise to Allah,
The great God of the universe.
the great God of the universe.
I give honor to Prophet Noble Drew Ali,
I give honor to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali,
the last prophet in these days.
the last prophet in these
I
days.
give honor to all true and divine prophets.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets. Jesus,
Muhammad,
Buddha,
Confucius,
Confucius,
etc.
etc.
I give honor to Marcus Garvey,
I give honor to Marcus Garvey,
forerunner of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
forerunner of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
I give honor to the American flag,
I give honor to the American flag,
the flag of our birth,
the flag of our birth,
and to the Moorish flag,
and to the Moorish flag,
our decent flag,
our decent
the
flag,
red flag,
the red flag,
the 5-pointed green star in the center,
with a 5-pointed green star in the center,
representing the divine principles
representing the divine
of
principles
love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
I give honor to our divine charter,
I give honor to our divine charter,
which gives us the divine and legal right
which gives us divine and legal right
to practice and promote our religion
to practice and promote our religion
unmolested.
unmolested.
I give honor to all past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators
I honor all past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators
of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated
of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated
in succession,
in succession,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
I give honor to our past former Grand Sheik and moderator,
I give honor to our past former Grand Sheik and moderator,
Brother Ara Loville.
Brother R. Loville.
I give honor to our Grand Sheik and moderator
I give honor to our Grand Sheik and
of
moderator
the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated,
of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated,
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones Bay.
I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheik
I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheik
of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated,
of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated,
Brother A. Hopkins Bay.
Brother A. Hopkins Bay.
I give honor to the Grand National Chairman,
I give honor to the Grand National Chairman,
who is also the Grand Sheik here at Temple 71,
who's also the Grand Sheik here at Temple 71,
Washington, D.C.,
Washington, D.C.,
Brother P. Chase Hill.
Brother P. Chase Hill.
I give honor to all national officials
I give honor to all national officials
in their office and station.
in their office and station.
I give honor to all state officials.
I give honor to all state officials.
Give honor to Brother H. Harris Bay,
I give honor to Brother H. Harris Bay,
Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
and to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Sister D. Jones Bay.
Sister D. Jones Bay.
I give honor to all local officials
I give honor to all local officials
in their office and station.
in their office and station.
I give honor to all members
I give honor to all members
of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated.
of the Moorish Science Temple of America
I give
Incorporated.
honor to all auxiliaries,
I give honor to all auxiliaries,
the Moorish media team,
the Moorish media team,
and everything that the prophet brought and taught
and everything that the Prophet brought and taught
for the uplifting of fallen man.
for the uplifting of all humanity.
I give honor to all viewers
I give honor to all viewers
and all of those who are listening in.
and to all of those who are listening in.
I give honor to our class.
I give honor to our class.
Peace.
Peace.
And I'll now read Salvation, Our God, Unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father, God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their pre-national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali founded Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America. Mailing address: MST of A, P.O. Box 388, Greenbelt, Maryland 20768. Thus we had a reading from all 7 acts, divine constitution and bylaws. I now read questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adab meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid, and if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noah Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of all humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Peace. Thus we had a reading from all 7 acts of questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans, and now have a reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guidance of his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his simple and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father, God Allah. I'll read from page 44, the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 36. Holy instructions from the prophet, know thyself. Weak and ignorant as thou art, O man, humble as thou oughtest to be, O child of the dust. Wouldst thou raise thy thoughts to infinite wisdom? Wouldst thou see omnipotence displayed before thee? Contemplate thy frame. Peace. Thus we had a reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Our Sunday school is officially open. If there's anyone downstairs, please let them come up at this time. I'd like to say Islam to all of those who are just coming up. And at this time, we'll call for our Grand Sheik and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated, our brother, man, and friend, Brother R. Jones Bay, for our Sunday school.
Islam. Allah, Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen. Islam.
Who made it?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Can we see it?
No.
Where's the nearest place we can meet it?
And Allah.
Who is Noble Dua?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is the prophet?
Prophets of Allah manifested in the flesh.
What is the duty of the prophet?
Save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America?
No Ali.
What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
Newark, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Dua born?
He stayed in North Carolina in 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish American?
Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America.
For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
Following marriage.
How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish America?
By teaching and reading the Psalms.
Okay, that's where we stop for a minute. When he's saying, by teaching them to be themselves, what is he saying? What is he saying to you? By teaching them to be themselves, what does he mean, themselves? Or to be themselves? Yeah, what does that mean? What is he trying to teach us and teaching us to be ourselves? Maybe that's the best way to ask the question. What is he teaching us when he's saying, when it is said, he's teaching us to be ourselves?
We create our own conditions by the way we think.
Our God likes him.
What you said? Say,
He's teaching us to be our God likes him.
yes.
Praise God.
He's teaching us how to be spirit,
Yes.
which is who we are. But how do you teach a person to be a spirit? I mean, we're spirits, but we got to be taught to be a spirit. We have to be taught to be who we are.
Yes.
I mean, how do you do that? How do you teach, or how do you learn to be who you are when you are a spirit?
Open the windows of your heart.
Huh?
Open the windows of your heart.
Okay, I'm sure that can be used as a method to do something. What you say?
By living the life.
By living the life. But the spirit has to be taught to live a life.
Islam.
Remember, a spirit must unfold. So you okay, by living life, yeah, because I guess inside there is something about living the life of a spirit. Come on. What do you say, Bro Cadmus?
I said by submitting.
By submitting, yeah. Yeah. Come on, Bro Crawford.
Islam, I say by getting to know or learn more about the image and the likeness that we talk about.
The image and the likeness that you know. Okay, okay. You gonna say that?
By raising our thoughts.
By raising our thoughts. To be taught to be a spirit, we have to raise our thoughts. You do. You do have to raise your thoughts. You do. Come on, Mark.
By cultivating the daily
Okay.
parts about
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What is that part of us that cuts away the useless and daily parts?
the Lord.
Not laws,
Will,
but
the
that's
will, I would say the will and strength
the will,
made manifest.
the strength made manifest. Come on, flashback.
Yeah, Islam, well, I think that the prophet is telling us that to be yourself is more beneficial on earth than it is anywhere else, because being yourself, knowing that you create the conditions that you find yourself in.
Right. Right.
That's what I think you're trying to say.
Okay. Come on.
Islam, well, I think it's using your soul, the actions of the soul.
Yeah. That's right. So if we're using the actions of our soul to cut away the useless and vain parts, because that's the action. That means we need the soul to teach our what? Our spirit. Well, to aid and assist in the teaching of the spirit. Because we got to have an instrument to give us some help. Because the spirit got to be, as the spirit is growing and unfolding, that means it has to have what? Guidance. And that guidance comes from the action of what?
Soul.
But the action of what?
Soul.
What action?
The Holy Spirit.
Thinking.
Thank you.
Thinking. See, we can't take for granted that just because we're spirits that we know everything.
No,
He said
we failed.
it must grow, unfold.
Yes.
As the bud unfolds to show the flower. So the spirit has to be taught too.
Right.
And it has to be taught to what?
To be attentive.
To be attentive to it's good. That's right. That's right. So now he's teaching us these things so that we may be who we are or what we are. But we got so caught up and down here that we definitely need some guidance. We caught up down here. We are encased in a body, and we can't leave this world, this plane of things made manifest until we associate or until we do certain things. We're held captive here until we do certain things. And we got to learn how to do what? What must we learn how to do?
Be attentive to his
To
good.
be attentive to his good, which was said earlier.
And we also got to learn the shackles.
But learning to be attentive to your good is learning how to loosen those shackles. See, that's one of the processes of learning how to loosen the shackles. It's being attentive to your good. Yeah.
You know, I think it was said that no finite mind
Right.
can comprehend
Right.
things that's infinite.
Right.
The soul and the spirit
Right.
is infinite.
Right. But would you raise your thoughts to infinite wisdom?
I would try.
Okay then.
Yeah, I would try.
Okay. So that doesn't mean that you can't. Just because no finite mind cannot comprehend infinite, those things infinite, doesn't mean you can't think infinitely. It just means as long as you're stuck in being a finite thinker, that's where you'll be. And you'll never see what's beyond the limit of the behold. But we're not confined to just thinking finite. We can raise our thoughts to infinite wisdom. Right where you are. What we're talking about is not something that's finite. We're talking about something that dwells within the rapidity of spirit life. In other words, in a faster vibration of ether.
And also, Brother Bradshaw, when raising our thoughts to that infinite wisdom, you can see omnipotence displayed.
And you know what, Lord? And that's one of the things that we have to be able to comprehend, to understand too. To be able to see. You can't, unless you raise your thoughts, you can't see. What will you see if you don't raise your thoughts?
Work the ethers.
Yes. Meaning you see what?
Physical play.
Physical plane. And all you talk about is what's physical.
Yes. Cloud of life.
Yes, because that's all you see. Now, suppose we can't see beyond this physical life. That means, how can you accept the teachings if you can't see beyond the limits of the pole?
Okay.
You won't think that you can accomplish anything but what's told that you can accomplish. From those who want to continue to keep you thinking in a state that will stifle your growth and keep you in a state of mental slavery. Now think about what the prophet had to do. He's coming here to teach us to be a spirit so that we can start to contemplate, so that we can start to think about spirit.
That's right. That's right.
He got to teach us to be ourselves. Yes, we're spirit, so you got to be taught about spirit. So you must be introduced to spirit.
That's right.
But for you to be introduced to spirit, you must let go of what? The carnal. That's right. Come on.
You know, Brother Believe, when you asked that question, the thought came to mind. My mind was, how did he do it?
Right.
He first informed us that we were.
Right. Right.
He informed us in a unique way that we were, because he said man is not the body nor the soul.
Right.
He's a spirit.
Right.
Now, even though we may not never heard that before,
Right.
but that was an introduction
Right.
to who we were.
Right. Right.
Now, our acceptance is another conversation.
That's the key. No, the introduction, it could be that. But
Yes.
the introduction is know thyself.
Know thyself. That's right. Great. That's right.
But we're in a physical body, but we're still spirit.
Yeah. That, being in a physical body doesn't take away from you being a spirit. It just simply means that you have some layers that you are confined in. We're confined in layers. One of the layers that we're confined in is the physical body. We are encased in a body that is flesh, which prevents us from ascending to the highest plane of spirit life. It keeps us earthbound. But what continues to keep us earthbound is the way we think. And what do? We use the great talent that has been committed to our charge, which is our soul, and its ability to think, to keep us confined. And by confining the spirit, by thinking a certain way, we also cause the soul to be what? Enslaved.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Meaning your soul not being given the freedom or not being given the opportunity to think us out of the condition that we have thought ourselves in, we enslave ourselves. We are the enslavers of ourselves.
Mm.
Come on.
No, sir. I'm in fact getting to know, learning the spirit being taught.
Yeah.
And I can see it had to be taught before it could actually actuate and direct this
That's
flesh.
right.
It had to be taught.
It had to be taught.
Because I had no clue before joining the movement
Right.
about spirit
Right.
and actuating that flesh
Right.
and being attentive to its good.
Right.
You know, and I'm thinking, man is the body and the flesh.
Right.
I wasn't really trying to get to know myself spiritually.
Right.
Really wasn't. Well, I knew the spirit existed,
Right.
but as far as me getting to know it,
Yeah. You couldn't associate.
Associate,
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to associate yourself as being spirit when you've been taught that you're the body. Because from the moment we're taught that we're the body, we start seeking after worldly things. To do what? Satisfy the body. In our pursuit to satisfy the body, we don't think about nothing else but satisfying the body. So what do? We try to gratify it. And what do we try to gratify with? The thoughts of those who gratify their flesh. And what do? They capitalize off our ignorance by giving us things, material things, or making material things make us think that this is a part of it.
Yes.
So what do we do now? We pursue it. But we lose the thought that is, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Because we don't know about heaven because we're not thinking about that we're the spirit in the first place.
It's,
So now what else are we doing? We're misusing our soul because the things that we use the soul to think about are the things that's going to get us earthly gratification. So we forgot the great talent that has been committed to our charge. So now everything we're doing is earthly. Now, no finite mind can comprehend things infinite. Because we have limited our way of thinking based on the Bible. But the prophet says,
what do you say?
know thyself.
Yeah.
And in knowing yourself, man is not the body, nor the soul.
Come on.
He's a spirit. So he put the program in place to teach us how to be ourselves, and that is to be what? Spirit.
So it's not a question. Really, that one of the most, I ain't gonna say the most important, but one of the key factors to this whole new divine movement is to change the way we was thinking.
You got to let go of the earthly thoughts. You on earth, we learn how to function by utilization of that part that was giving us to function on the plane of things made manifest. But we use the great talent rightly. We got to use the soul rightly because whatever can do good can also do harm.
Yes, sir. That's right.
She can take you out of the rut or she can put you in the rut.
Yes, sir.
Based on the way you utilize her action of thought. You understand?
Yes,
sir.
You know? Because that's what we're trying to do. Learn how to use the thought so that we can be free. Free from what? The lower self. That's right.
So the prophet knew we was thinking in earth. Our thinking was in earth.
Look. Not only did he know, he had to let us know that he knew.
Yes, sir.
And some of us still don't accept the fact that he knows.
That's true.
He had to say, it had to be brought to our attention. The prophet knows the way.
Yes, he does.
And not only does he know the way, but look what he did. He left his footprints what?
Clearly.
So that we can see and know that what? That who went the way? The prophet, or his other title, master.
Yes, sir.
He, their master, went that way. The way of spirit. Because every word he spoke was what? Spirit. So when we follow him, we are following in the footsteps of the spirit. And if you imitate him, you too become, what you are. Spirits and a part of Allah. Thoughts of Allah. Your thoughts of Allah. We are thoughts of Allah manifested in the flesh. Spirits are thoughts of Allah, and we are manifested in the flesh. This is where we function with the utilization of our soul.
And thoughts are capable of evolving.
It's no question.
Yes.
As we raise our seed, the soul is the ability or the thoughts that you can bring into existence by way of your soul. It's no limit. You can use that action of thinking. You can go to the greatest depths, just like you can go to the highest heights.
Yes, sir.
It's what you will to do, but you got to be taught that you got to will. Yeah, being a spirit and power of God, that's the truth, but we got to be taught obedience. We're spirits, yes, but we must be taught to be obedient. We have the potential of perfection, but we must grow and we must unfold. You see? That's why I think about it. Setting up a structure, setting up a program to teach you to be who you are, a spirit and a part of others. And the only resistance comes from you and me.
So when you say be obedient, that's to his law.
Of course, that is law.
Yeah.
See, law checks man's law. His law overrides man's law.
Yeah.
See, his law forces man to obey the law. See, man's law switch up on you. His law is consistent. And if you stick to it, if you're obedient to it, the results of it will always be the same. It won't switch up on you. His law, what the law is today, tomorrow is not the law.
That's right.
Come on.
Come on, Grantee. I was just listening to you. And I was just thinking, where in the world can we hear all these teachings?
Yeah.
But in this movement,
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of them travel near and far and been to different places.
Yeah.
But we never heard this before.
Yeah.
And every time I hear it, it's always like it's the first time. It's like a refresher.
Yeah.
That we got to be reminded
Yeah.
that our prophet was a prophet.
Yeah. Ain't no question about that.
Please.
Ain't no question about that. Come on,
You
man.
trying to fill out and like praise my God. I heard you said too about self, like, you know, cause listening earlier to what the Grand Chief Mother is saying about, you know, his body, man is not the body, nor the soul. You know, we are spirit and part of the law.
Yeah.
See, when we've been taught so much about the body
Yeah.
in this carnal world, when the prophet wasn't even introduced to it,
Yeah.
he was taught one way.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you said too, the spirit, every word the prophet speaks is spirit.
Yeah.
That too has a level of place, because to reach that place,
Yeah.
because sometimes we go even so far away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so in order to reach that place, you have to be in a state of purity,
Yeah.
you know, a mind.
Yeah.
Your mind got to be able to lift
Yeah.
to that level.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're not there, you're going to still think
Yeah.
earthly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we are in the body.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, it's not so much being in purity at the moment. It's not so much being in purity at the moment to be able to understand these things. It's striving.
It's not.
It's the effort that raised you up. We're not no finished product.
That's right. It's not.
Right. You gotta remember that.
It's not.
We are not a finished product. We are still striving. And the higher you go, you lessen the hold or the grip of your lower condition.
It's not. It's not.
It starts to can't hold you. So that means you're unfolding a little more.
That's right. It's not.
See, as long as it can keep you earthbound, it can limit your thinking.
It's not.
And then you can't go no higher than you think you can go. When we can go as high, there's no limit to how high we can go.
It's not.
But if we're here and all we see is trying to gratify, that's what got us in trouble in the first place.
That's right. It's not.
Trying to gratify. Do you know what extent one goes to try to gratify his lower self?
It's not.
Yes.
You know what you'll do just for the sake of gratification of your flesh?
Come on.
And don't you know that each time you try to gratify the body, each time you try to gratify that lower self, you are creating another condition
It's not.
that you're making for yourself. And you can't leave until you make the correction, because you created something that you can, is the only one that can uncreate.
It's not.
You got to be the one to unmake it, because you are the architect of it. You know the little cracks and crevices and all that stuff that go along with what you done made. You got to go back and correct that. And who knows how long it will take you to correct it, especially when we've been in ignorance.
Right.
We may have to come to earth a number of times, over and over, until we can make those corrections. Right.
And that's the conflict.
That can't be told in words. That's the conflict that can't be told in words. That's why when you consider the fact that we are now on the path, you should be able to acknowledge the fact that you are in fact blessed.
Sure.
To be even able to talk about this stuff. Look, there ain't a lot of people talking about this. And if they do, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you're going to get it watered down.
That's true.
Come on.
Islam, sir, so in essence, we've been here before.
Yes, numerous times. Numerous, digging ourselves out of a hole that we created.
But just not in this body.
No, not this one. Because the body is a temporary vehicle, so it has to be renewed. It has to be renewed. You can't come back using the same one. You have to have a renewed body.
That's why it actually disintegrates.
It disintegrates, that's right. It disintegrates, and then another body is provided for your next existence here on this plane of things made manifest.
So,
Yeah,
yes, sir. That's why what is health is to the body.
yeah, honesty to the soul.
Okay?
Yeah,
It made me think along that.
yeah, good thought. Come on.
I was saying, Branch, because you made me think that that's why the prophet said you may not make it back in Eden.
Well, yeah, look, that's right. See, now he didn't say it's a human, remember that.
Okay, sorry.
He said human form.
Oh,
See, there are forms that man dwells in that's non-human. Oh, you know, you ever seen people who have bodies that are like wood? I've seen pictures, I read some medical books, and I've seen people that's tumors. One big tumor. And see, but that comes from what? Thought. You create your body. You're creating your next body to come here, right now, with the way you think. And that's why you can't look at someone who may be in a body that's deformed, because man is sure to find himself where he can solve his problems best in the body or the form that's best suited for his growth and development that he creates. So he has to be the one to learn to uncreate. I have to be taught not to think like that. Come on.
Only masterminds can trace themselves back.
Yes. Not only, they say masterminds, but masterminds are not the only ones that can trace. That ability to remember who you were is not just exclusively, mainly for masterminds. They can trace themselves, but they're not limited, because that cannot be circumscribed. Masterminds are spirits. Man is a spirit, you know. I mean, man may not have reached the degree of mastermind, of being a mastermind, but as he learned, he traces.
But they say you can't take nothing with you.
You're not taking nothing with you. What? What you gonna take? You gonna take this gavel? We ain't gonna have a chance to use it.
Memory with you.
But see, thought can never die. The thought of Allah never dies. So that's, you do take it with you, because you are that. You are thought. And the thoughts you think are your thoughts. That's right. And your thoughts go with where you go. And they create as you move on, your thoughts are still creating. Yes.
Islam. You know, and in this discussion, remember when Jesus was speaking to Brother Rabo, he told him we're going to the land of flesh, this thing.
That's right. Come on here.
Things are made of thought. And he said in that segment that mind never
Say it.
does
Forget. That's right. That's what he said.
never.
That's right.
Now, as we're talking about unfolding, that's part of it.
Yes.
And the more we unfold, the more things will become revealed to us, and we will remember.
Yes. Yes.
We will remember.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because mind never does forget.
That's right.
We are spirit and a part of Allah, and His thoughts are from the everlasting of the past to the never-ending days to come.
That's right.
And man has always existed. We'll be able to trace ourselves back. Masterminds have a particular purpose. If you know, we go back and read the book. Masterminds have a particular reason that they're masterminds. They're supposed to help us restore things. So
Yes.
you will be able to remember things.
Yes. That helps give what you just did. You help give us more clarity.
Islam.
Because the question was that came from Brother Bunch Bay was for the purpose of helping us to gain clarity.
Mm-hmm.
The response that came from Brother Chase Hill was the contribution that has been made by way of the individuals who have allowed themselves to be used as instruments to share with us those things that Allah has made available to us today.
Islam.
So you must remember, when you come in here, you're used as an instrument if you are striving.
Islam.
Now, there are many, sometimes, they come in, they want to say, I'm an instrument. No, you can't say you're an instrument. You're used by he who sees fit to use you if he so desires to do so. You don't go out there, get a whole bunch of human knowledge, come back in here and act like you're going to breathe on somebody. That ain't the way this goes. This is what kind of movement? A thought movement. And divine movement. So as we come in here, we're trying to better. See, that's why it's so important that we do the best we can, because so that we can be used as instruments.
That's right.
Come on.
If our intent is right.
If that's the piece.
Yeah. See, our intent has got to be right. It's not about our selfishness. It's not about fame and reputation.
Yeah.
It is to aid and assist.
Yeah.
And they got a mission about it for all humanity.
Yeah.
You need to use your tongue to speak.
Yeah.
You know, if you're sincere about trying to aid and assist.
Yes.
But you know, but we got to evaluate what our intent is.
Yes.
Because sometimes we want to make ourselves seem like we have all the answers.
Come on,
But
question.
that's not what this movement is about.
That's right.
Because Allah is the only one that has all the answers.
That's
But if we are trying to help the prophet,
That's right.
and when we help the prophet, we're helping ourselves.
That's right.
So that's one of the things I'm learning is your intent on why you want to say something,
Yeah.
or why you want to share. Is it because you want the attention to be put on you, or you trying to help those who may need some help? It's like those who help you, because it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
It's mutual. It's reciprocal. We help each other in it during the course of a meeting.
That's right.
Somebody, Brother Chase, you brought up something that helped me.
Yeah.
Somebody else bring up something else. But at the end of the day, we are here, if our intent is right, to aid and assist the prophet, to help us be able to receive what we need, so that we can start that unfolding.
That's right. That's right. That's right. See, each one of us having had the opportunity to be on earth before, we've accumulated a lot of information.
Yes.
We've had a lot of experiences because we have been reincarnated a numerous number of times. But to tap into that part that is of assistance to our brothers and sisters,
Come on, that's
can only come if you are trying to live the life accordingly. It don't come out. It don't come out if you're not trying to live the life accordingly. It has to come out based from the source from which we come. I've learned something in my past life. I can't say exactly what it is, but when it comes out, it makes sense. I haven't experienced it today, but I did it yesterday. And the only way I could have done it is the fact I was here to do it. So what does that help me to come into the realization of? Man can't die.
That's right.
Exactly.
I'm learning that man can't die. Regardless of what we have been led to believe
That's right. That's right.
by those who want to keep us thinking from the finite point of view, man can't die.
Right.
And we've already identified it by the guidance of Prophet Noble Drawing that the body is not the man.
Come on.
We see that. So even though we see the body and we see the body go into a dormant state, and we say, hey, he's dead. He ain't dead because he ain't even there.
Right. Listen.
He's left. He's left the body that he had to occupy during his tenure at this time on earth.
That's right.
This is where you live since you're going to be on earth in 2023. This is what you're going to live in. This is the body. And it's going to come a time when that body is going to disintegrate. That's death.
That's right.
Not dead, but death.
That's death. And we learn now that ain't even no enemy. Death is no enemy. It just cuts the cord that binds the human boat to earth so that it may sail on smoother seas. Come on.
And then we learn in the prophet teaching that there's a holy ministry in there.
There's no question.
It's a problem. It's something divine is going on.
Right.
It's a holy ministry.
Right. Right. Now look at this piece. The finite way of thinking, the way we have been taught to keep us in a certain state, is that people crying and everything because the people they say that they think the people that died. They go there, they pay people enormous amounts of money so that the body can be embalmed so you can come and look at it.
Yes.
You come look at the body, and because we haven't arrived to the point that we understand that man is not the body, we think that body that we're looking at is the man that we was just with yesterday. But that ain't even the man. But we're taught that they're the man.
Yes.
And people make large sums of money off an empty shell that's not the man at all.
Yeah.
But that's the way we've been taught. That's finite thinking, earthly thinking. The prophet has taken us, look what he's done. He's taken us from the earthly point of view and gave us something else to think about. And once we can incorporate it into our daily thinking, whereas it becomes a part of every part, then we start to understand more about death, the price we got to pay, how important it is that we live our lives a certain way, to understand that we must contribute to our credit side of life. Now we start to think about, well, how can I do that? Well, one thing we know that we have learned in here, you got to act according to principles. Come on.
It's, I was just thinking, like you say, they make large sums of money.
Yes.
For bomb fluid and violence.
Yeah.
And we have certain cultures, back in certain early times, they mummified the body
Yeah. Yeah.
and just placed it in the tomb.
Yeah. 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 See, think about it though. I mean, if we on the plane of things made manifest, and we really, really don't know about the world beyond the world. All we know is this. And we'll do what we think is right to preserve this. Because it's all we know.
Yes.
We're just starting to come into the light of what this is all about.
Come on.
And the more that you try to do the things that's in accord with the will of God, the more enlightened you will become. Because we're all seeking enlightenment. Same thing Buddha brought is the same thing we're seeking. We're seeking the same thing Buddha brought, enlightenment.
Yes. Which is the truth.
Which is the truth. That's right, Mom. which is the truth. That's all we're trying to find. We're trying to find the truth about our existence. That's why I asked you from the beginning, how do you teach the spirit? How do you teach yourself to be what you are?
I was thinking, when you started the class, you asked about the prophet uplifting more America by teaching them to be themselves.
Yes.
And you're saying, how do you teach to be yourself?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, the prophet taught us that we had two selves,
Yes.
a higher self and a lower self.
Yes.
He taught us what the lower self was. He taught us what the higher self was.
Yes.
And as we, move on in the class, we talked about the things we accept.
Yes.
We've been taught certain things.
Yes.
And those teachings that we accept.
Yes.
And when you accept those teachings of the lower self, the carnal self,
Yes.
the worldly things,
Right.
that's your reality.
Yeah.
But when you focus on the higher self and spiritual things and outline man,
Right.
then that's the real.
Right.
And you can raise your thoughts to infinite.
Right. Right.
And we can get into the spiritual part of life.
Right.
But it's what we accept.
What we accept, yes. Yes. And much of what we have accepted has a profound influence on what we accept now. Come on.
I was just thinking when you asked that question, and then I just thought about how do you teach the spirit?
Yeah.
You have to teach it the truth.
Yeah. It has to, Mom.
You have to teach it the truth.
Yes.
Only but you know the truth about man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we are blessed in the more signs of America because the prophet has brought us the truth about man.
Right.
But to teach that spirit right,
Right.
you have to teach it the truth.
Right.
God's truth.
Right.
Not man's truth.
Right.
Because that spirit has to be fed the nourishment from that native plant.
Right.
And I just thought about that when I was listening. I just said it has to be taught the truth. And that's what we are receiving in the more signs of America.
Right.
If properly used, is the truth.
That's right. That's right.
Which can give us an opportunity because the truth will make you free.
That's the key. See, the key is make you free. Make who free?
The spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Praise the Lord.
I mean, think about it. We're trying to free our spirit.
Yes.
That's it. Our spirit is earthbound.
Mm-hmm.
Our spirit can't function here without a body of soul and a body of flesh.
That's right.
We can't live here. This atmosphere is not conducive to the spirit. So we have to have those, the soul and the body of flesh, the soul that teaches, the body of flesh to allow us to function.
That's it.
We got to function down here.
That's right.
Without this body, we could not exist down here. So this body enables us to go about and do the things that we need to do so that we can be taught how to unfold.
That's right, Mom.
Come on, y'all.
That's and then just think about it. If the spirit is here, we couldn't see it.
Nope.
Not with these finite eyes.
We couldn't, Mom.
We can't see it with these eyes.
That's right, Mom. That's right. That's right.
So if we look at everything that the prophet has done for us, and we take it based on, and he's done it, how the prophet has done, put these teachings together in a chronological order for us to comprehend.
Yeah.
And if you read the chapters that he has prescribed for us in terms of how we got here,
Yeah.
on the highest plane of spirit life,
Yeah.
we debased ourselves,
Yeah.
tore ourselves away from ours.
Yeah.
We found ourselves then wanting to experience other things.
Yes. Yes.
We go into the plane of soul.
Yes.
Then we become a living soul.
Yes.
And a seed is planted so that we can open up and develop and then manifest. Yeah. So if we gotta go back and study the book. Yeah. So you can see exactly why we're not the body. Yeah. He said, human spirit, clothed in soul, made in his own life. That's right. Follow all of those steps, and we can see who we are. We'll begin to see it. And why purity is so important, and you're right, we're not going to be perfected on this plane. We are gaining perfection by our mind being made free. That spirit starting to become more free. Yeah. And now we're starting to recognize. Yeah. It's starting to recognize. Yes. And what it's recognizing is that this is the illusion. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. This is the illusion. Yeah. Yeah. So we're reversing our thinking of putting so much energy into trying to live as long as thou orders instead of as long as thou canst. Yes. That's right. That's right. So if we look at these lessons and we start to see them and incorporate them and always think on high in terms of that mighty spirit that dwells within us, and you can accept that part of it. Yeah. A lot of us still may not, and I think the governor even asked a question in one of the meetings previously, or as he was speaking, do we really see ourselves as spirit? Yeah. In a part of our. Yeah. That's something you gotta really think about. Yeah. And you gotta accept it. Yeah. Because until you accept it, you still earthbound. I don't care how much you come in here.
Come on.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Come on.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that true? As a matter of fact, back to what the governor said, what he said Friday is what caused, it started me thinking. Because, how do you see yourself? Do you really see yourself as being, or have you even started? No, I won't even say how you see it. How do you think of yourself?
Come on.
Do you think of yourself as actually being a spirit and a part of God? Do you think about you actually are a seed that came from the heart of Almighty God? Can you comprehend that? Can you go into your little places where you have no disturbance sometimes and think about, I'm a seed that came from the heart of God. Now what does that mean to me? Or do I even believe it? See, you, as as you unfold, your God unfolds. So what you need to do is to think those thoughts that help you to unfold. That's it.
Sir, in the, as Grand Sheik Brother P.J. Hill just mentioned about that chronological order.
Yeah.
When we go back and we go to the question about what the prophet was saying to us when he said, be yourself. How did he begin to teach us to be ourselves? In that chronological order, we learn and hear from the prophet's teaching. And being ourselves, who we really are, what we really are. We are a spirit and the thought of Allah.
Right.
And until we, like we said, accept those things, then we really don't come in contact with knowing ourselves. And the acceptance of this, we learn that we are being allowed to raise our thoughts to infinite wisdom. To that part that we are being a spirit. And that's who we really are.
But like you said, and the word keeps coming up, acceptance.
Yes.
No, it ain't easy to accept
No.
that you're a spirit.
No, it ain't.
When you've been taught to rely on what you think you see.
You better believe it.
Come on, William.
No. most of my life, starting with my mother, would always be telling me that you're a child of God.
Yeah.
Most of the elders, they would tell you, you're a child of God.
Yeah.
But you couldn't quite grab that.
Right. Right.
You know, all my life, they would,
Right.
you're a child of God.
Right.
Right? It took for the prophet over to Ali to bring it to a realization or reality that I'm a child of God.
Right.
Right? And with that, right, I begin to try to be as much of that as I can. Only a little at a time now. Don't misunderstand me. Because as you said, we're not a finished product. I'm not even close to it. You know what I mean? But the thought that I'm a child of God made me begin to think differently, to act differently, to treat people differently, to treat myself differently. Right? Just having that thought that I'm a child of God, it changed my whole way of thinking and acting.
Well, I just want to say what I've learned or what's been taught to me here in this movement has been great, been appreciated and helpful in my life.
Praise God. That's right.
Peace.
Praise God.
Listen, come on, just one thing that jumped out at me as Brother William Bay was speaking. And it's key to me. He said to treat myself differently. And that's important. Because many of the ways that I used to think and many of the things that I used to do to myself, this has made me do just that. Treat myself differently. And that just kind of jumped out at me when he said, we've been doing some things, mentally, physically to ourselves, that it's just when you think back on it, or when I think back on some of the journeys that I've been able to come through, I was just like, in this moment, it was just maddening.
I hear you. I think about that too, you know, because the ways are, remember when he said, perfect man must pass through all the ways of life?
Yes.
And as we pass through, as we're passing through those conditions, there are opportunities there for us to go right or left. It's the one that appeals to us the most, is the one that we follow. And when I think about passing through the ways of life, and how many times I chose to go left,
Yes. Yes.
it's mind-boggling even to recognize the fact that I'm here talking about that now.
Exactly.
You know, because that stuff,
Yeah.
man, that's something.
Yes.
But it was, and like you know, like the things that my grandmother was telling me when I was growing up, that as I got older, it was in me, but I ain't ready, I ain't doing that right now.
Exactly.
That was the very thing I was thinking about the other day. Those are the very things that saved me to get me here.
It did.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Because the seed was planted.
Yes, Mo.
See, that seed was planted
Yes.
from our parents, from our elders,
Yes,
from those who
yes,
talked about going God and
Yes.
going to church and all that.
yes.
See, one of the things, and this is very important for us to understand, it's important that the prophet say we're not to speak radical
That's right.
about the church.
That's right. That's right.
Some of that helped many of us.
That's right, Mo.
Yeah.
See, that seed being put in our minds, because that is our introduction for many of us to God.
Yes. Yes,
That's right.
yes, yes, yes. Did I see your hand? Thompson there?
Based on, topic, for the record. You talking about your grandmother, and I remember my grandma, my mother was saying, you know, she never hit me, but she always said, you make your bed hard, you gotta sleep in it.
That's right.
You know, and I was thinking, and I was listening to some messages the other day, I think, of the Moore Science of America, and it said a soldier never knows the strength to the foe, to the meets the foe.
Yeah.
You see, and I think that it made me stronger as a better person as I grow older, as we meeting them different foes
Right,
along the way.
right,
You follow me?
right.
Peace.
Peace. Come on, my friend.
And when you say you gotta go through all the ways,
Yeah,
and if you chose left,
right.
then that means that you gotta go back through right.
There's no
What you
question.
did left, you gotta do, you say all the way,
But
so
see,
that
what,
you gotta come back.
yeah, but see, this is what is so fascinating about that. Even as you're passing, and you pass from one to another, you're still being extended the opportunity to make a reparation, because you're still meeting those very things that you chose to do in the past. Because they don't go nowhere. Each path, each way of life you go through, those things that you chose in that way are still there.
Yeah.
So you are given an opportunity to renew your act, your way.
Yes.
You don't choose that now. But it was because of that way that helped me to be able to recognize that in this way.
That's right.
Yeah. Come on, Mark.
Islam. And I know some brothers that's still living in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
They never was able to make it out of
That's
that.
right. They got lost.
They stuck. They're stuck right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make this real fast.
Yeah, come on, yeah.
And remember what you said, and this, and I'm not saying you remember, I'm
Yeah.
asking more. Remember what the Grand Chief said. We've been here many times. So one of those, when we pass through certain ways of life, in another life,
Right.
you learn something,
Right.
or you went left, and perhaps you met that thing again in this life,
That's right.
and you went right.
That's right. That's right.
So you may not have dwelled in that passing. Some
Right.
passings we got stuck.
Right.
Some things we didn't, we dwelled for a period of time.
Right.
And then in another life, we didn't have to dwell there, remember, because we come back for things that we gotta still resolve.
That's right. That's right.
We don't come back for everything.
That's right. And look, you don't have to relive a right experience, because you should have learned the right from it.
That's
So as we pass through the next way, we use what we've learned that was right to help us to deal with what's proper in this way. You can learn from what's right in that way, and you can identify right, because right looks right, and it looks right in here, not out here. So I've done this before. Have you ever had this experience? I've been here, I've heard this, I've done this before.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You know?
You
They
know,
call it deja vu.
yes.
right.
Yes. And you know, one thing I want to say, Brother Reed, I know you got to go with the book. To know, you must be what you know.
Yes, brother. Yes, yes, yes,
To know, you must be what you know,
Yes.
from the negative experience
Yes.
as well as the positive
yes,
experience.
brother.
You must know. See, no one can tell you
Yes.
it's wrong.
That's right,
You have to have the experience the wrong in it to be what you know.
right,
So it helps you when you're traveling to say, man, that ain't right.
right,
And I know that I felt the consequences of that.
right,
So now the choice is, am I willing to feel the consequences again or not feel them?
right,
But I know there's some consequences that I didn't particularly like 4 or 5 years or whatever.
right,
But so to be what I know is that I'm gonna push that to the side and keep moving.
right, right,
But if I go, because one thing they say, and one thing I learned is, it hurts worse when you know
right,
and you still go.
right, right,
Because all you can do is replay all that you've been through, and you can't blame no one but yourself. The choice is yours.
right, right,
So,
right. And remember, that's done because you have not accepted.
There you go. There you go. That's right.
We haven't learned.
You haven't learned, Mo.
Yeah.
Is it not his mercy that allows the opportunity to go right after we done went left?
Oh, yeah, Mo.
Yeah,
That's
because
mercy.
some experience death
Yeah,
when they go left. They
Yeah.
don't get the opportunity to go right.
that's right.
So it's not.
Not in that life, no.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Come on, Mo.
It's not, that's why you have to teach you to be a tenant to the school.
Right. Right.
That's why that means about the same.
Good thought. That's good thought. That's good thought. That's good thought. Come on, man.
I'm just listening, and each teaching that we get it's a lesson.
Yeah, Mo. See, we're to learn something from each way of life. That's how we gain it.
Exactly.
We gotta learn something. Every way, everything that we go through teaches us something.
That's right. That's right.
Whether we make the proper choice or not, you know, it's still teaching us something.
No matter how small.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because see, nothing is measured in reality. It just is. There's no measurement. This is small, this is big. No, it just is.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Mom.
Praise God, I think last week I remember you asked about, you wanted to know God.
Yeah.
And I was just hearing everybody saying like, far as God shows you mercy
Yeah.
to go right.
Yeah.
Is that a way of knowing or learning God, knowing the truth?
Yeah.
And find out the truth far the way you think.
Yeah. Yeah. You can look at it like that too, and you can look at that as a way of learning to know it.
That's
Because to go right is obedient. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, look, chapter 16. We don't have a lot of time. But let's go with chapter 16. Pilate's final effort to release Jesus fails. He washes his hands in feigned innocence, delivers Jesus to the Jews for execution. The soldiers drive him to Calvary. A superstitious people are the Jews. If you're superstitious, what are you? What are you? What is the result of superstition?
You have no faith. You have no faith.
Okay.
Lack of faith.
Let me say it like this. What are the actions of superstition? The actions. What actions come from superstition?
Unsurety.
Unsurety. That's a good word.
Falsehood.
Yes.
Falsehood.
Yes.
Fear.
Look, what is superstition?
Doubt.
Doubt. It is because if you're superstitious, what you are considering as being truth is not truth at all.
No.
It has no foundation.
It's accepting falsehood.
It's accepting something that you have no knowledge about. Now, the reason I ask that is because we're talking about a people. We're talking about a people that superstition was grabbed hold to because they have borrowed a what?
Religion.
A faith.
Faith.
They borrowed a faith from idol worshippers.
Yes.
So their superstition is based in falsehood, like you said.
They accepted it.
And they accepted it. That's the point, boy. They accepted it. Come
You
on.
know, man, I was just thinking when you said borrow faith, I was saying they borrowed a thought.
Yeah. That was, but the faith that they was a thought.
Yeah, and you know when I think about us.
Yes. More
I
yes.
think about us.
Yes.
We borrowed
Yes.
a thought.
Yes.
Because we practice
Yes.
superstitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not knowing that there was no truth behind or no
Yes.
foundation.
Yes.
We can't, I mean, I often try to put myself in some of these concepts, but that was a thought.
Yes.
Walking under the ladder.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't let the broom touch you.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. All these things that we practice and we might still practice, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, man,
Yeah.
we bought that,
Yeah.
but we never investigated.
Yeah.
Or we never had anything to investigate it with. But when we teach the prophet, we can have something to measure it by now. Peace.
Yeah, that's right. So superstitious people are the Jews. They have a faith that they have borrowed from the idol worshippers of other lands. That at the end of every year, this is one of the superstitions. They may heap all their sins upon the head of some man set apart to bear their sins away. What is the superstition in that?
That their sins are forgiven.
Their sins gonna be
Say it.
Their sins are forgiven with
Their sins are forgiven. By doing what?
sacrificing.
Sacrificing the person. No question.
They have no proof.
There's no proof.
They gonna put them on somebody else.
They can put it on somebody else and drive them out of the crowd, and they all of a sudden they are sinless, which allows them to go back and do some more sinning until the next year and put it on somebody else.
They gotta be thinking a certain way to even believe.
It's no question. But look what they're doing. They have borrowed the faith from idol worshipers, so they have to be thinking in the realms of idol worship. It says that the man becomes a scapegoat for the multitude. And they believe that when they drive him forth into the wild or into foreign lands, they are released from sins. So every spring before the feast, they chose a prisoner from the prisons of the land. And by a form of their own, they fain would make him bear their sins away. Among the Jewish prisoners in Jerusalem were three who were the leaders of a vile, seditious band who had engaged in theft, murders, and rapine. You know what that is, right? Okay. And had been sentenced to be crucified. Barabbas and Josiah were among the men who were to die. But Barabbas was rich and had bought off priests the boon to be the scapegoat for the people at the coming feast. And he was anxiously in waiting for his hour to come. What was he waiting for? What was the hour that he was waiting for?
to be driven into the wild.
That's right. So he was, because he knew he had it, because what had he done? He had paid for it.
Yes, you gonna be free.
And Brother Granshi, that's too easy. If you can get rid of your sins through an act like this,
Yeah.
that's just too easy.
Yeah, but in Barabbas' case, he wanted it because he didn't want to go to the cross.
Yeah, right.
See, so he was to be the boon. What's the word boon mean? What does that mean? Remember in here, it says, and had brought off priests the boon to be the scapegoat for the people at the coming feast. What does the word boon, B-O-O-N, mean?
He wanted to be the benefactor of the gift that he gave to the priest for that particular event that was.
But not the benefit, boon doesn't mean the benefactor, but it does mean a benefit.
A benefit, yeah, he was the benefit.
He was the beneficiary of what he did.
Right, for paying them off.
Yeah, because it was a privilege. It was a certain special privilege that you would have. That's what boon means. You know, I had it written down because I looked it up.
That's an old word, that's an old saying.
Yeah, you don't hear that. You don't hear it. You don't hear that too much. Come on here.
And we gotta look at the whole story.
Yeah, look at the story. That's right.
See, they were in prison, but remember, Josiah and Barabbas, they were sentenced to die. Along with one another.
They had already went apart anymore.
They were not necessarily the ones who would be chosen from the prison.
That's right. That's right.
They already had a death sentence.
That's right. That's right.
So they automatically wouldn't have been chosen to go be driven into the wild.
Right.
One of the other prisoners would have been.
That's right.
But Barabbas was rich.
That's right.
And because of the greed of these priests,
That's right. That's right.
he realized, let me pay them and they can get me out of this.
Yeah.
So it's not just because his sentence would have had him crucified.
Yeah.
He was already destined to die.
Yes. Yes.
But his money saved him and the greed of the priests
That's right.
saved him.
That's right.
Right here, I got a definition that's befitting, it says favor or request.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
so that was
Yeah.
a favor.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that
He
was
bought
paid
that
for.
favor.
Right, right. Yeah.
Come on. Come on, man.
It says a boon, you can describe something as a boon when it makes life better or easy for someone.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
cut
that's right.
loose. Yeah.
That's right.
He was get cut loose.
That's right.
So he waiting on the boon.
That's right.
And a lot of us are waiting for the boon.
That's right. That's right, Mom. That's right. That's right. So it says, Barabbas and Jazir were among the men who were to die. But Barabbas was rich and had bought off priests the boon to be the scapegoat for the people at the coming feast. And he was anxiously awaiting for his hour to come. Okay, so at the coming feast, they were gonna get this situation resolved with Barabbas. But think about it. Here's a person that's guilty, that has been proven guilty. See, he done went to court and everything.
Right.
He done went to court, he's been found guilty, and he's been sentenced. And here is another person that they have no knowledge of. They don't even know who Jesus is. They don't even know what they're dealing with. But their appetites for wealth is so greedy, they are willing to let 10,000 guilty go free with one innocent to stand for.
That's a mindset, brother.
That's a mind, that's a thought. But why wouldn't it? How do you know that's a thought? Well, they're idol worshipers. Because they have borrowed the faith. These are people who are superstitious. And people who are superstitious and people who have borrowed faith from idol worship are subject to do this kind of stuff. Because in that way, the glory and the shame is what? Misplaced. Come on here.
It's wrong, just real fast.
Yeah.
And again, stay in line with this whole story. Jesus had opposed the laws of the Romans. He posed a threat to them. And while he should not have been crucified, they saw him as more of a threat than Barabbas.
You got something here?
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
He was a threat to their faith.
Yeah.
Their superstition.
And their money.
And their money.
Yeah.
And you know one thing, Brother Lee, when I ever look at this, I often think about people.
Yeah.
How they chose falsehood over the truth.
But that's what superstition promotes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Come on, Mom.
It took me the word false pretense.
Yeah.
You know, false pretense stands out to me in that.
Yeah.
Right there, you know,
Yeah.
because we going back into the thought of these people who was practicing this behavior, condition.
Yeah.
It was starting to be a condition, you know, the way they think.
Yeah.
Now, these, we talking about also people that crucified him, his own people,
Right.
you know?
Right.
You know, they had brain, like they brainwashed him,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? The thing that get Jesus is guilty,
Right.
you know? Because they the one that did this,
Right.
you know? Yeah, they put it for him, you know, the rulers, but nah, his own people crucified him.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Islam. I'd like to thank our Grand Sheik and moderator, our brother, man, and friend, Brother R. Jones Bay, for a very inspiring or thought-provoking class. And at this time, I'll call for our Assistant Grand Governors of Washington, D.C., Sister D. Jones Bay, to read our proclamation. And while it's being read, please give it your undivided attention, and please cease all movement.
Islam. I give praise to Allah and honor to His holy prophet, Noble Ali, and honor to this our Sunday school and Koran class. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, and freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Ali. Peace.
Peace.
Islam. I'd like to thank our Assistant Grand Governors, Sister D. Jones Bay, for reading our proclamation. That ends our Koran.
Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Ali. Amen.